Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Kevin the Tech Ninja here, and this right here is the OnePlus 10 Pro. This phone was just released April 14th and it's $899. Now I've had it for about a month now and I've been using it. Let me tell you what I think. Now if you're new to my channel, the way I do these things is that I don't typically do a review when it first comes out, but when I get the phone, I pop my SIM card in it for a little bit. I use it as my personal phone to kind of get an idea of how it actually works, and typically within that time frame, a couple updates drop and things like that, so I have an idea of how the phone is when you actually buy it in stores. So look, an update was just pushed out to the phone while I'm recording the video. I'm not gonna stop the video to install it. So the way it's gonna work is that if this update made significant changes, then I'll do an updated video. Otherwise, we'll talk about it how it is. Now, the one big standout to me has to be design. The back is frosted and I love how the camera cluster looks. It comes in a few different colors and OnePlus sent me the black version. I wish I had access to the green as that one looks really dope, but the black one is pretty cool itself. Now it has tiny speckles on it that shines when the light hits it just right. I actually think this phone looks pretty unique, the way it's built and the way it's looking. You know, many phones these days start to look the same after a while since they have so many cameras and they're all glass and all these things. But I think OnePlus did a good job at making this phone stand out. Now, one thing I do dig about this phone is that it says Hasselblad right here on the camera cluster, and I think it's done very well. Now, a lot of cameras that have these big camera clusters on the back, they stick out a lot, but the way OnePlus made this, it actually sort of blends into the curvature of the phone. Now, for me, I put it up there as one of the best designed phones as far as like looks and how it feels in the hand compared to everything I've used in the last few years. So big ups to OnePlus on that. Now, speaking of the back of the phone, it is Gorilla Glass 5, so you should be protected from smaller drops. But the one thing about Gorilla Glass is that it can actually scratch. Now, thankfully, I haven't scratched anything on this phone just yet, but I will expect some scratches to pop up as I continue to put the phone in my pocket and if you're not using a case with the phone. So the front of the phone is 6.7 inches, which puts it in the larger phone category, but yet it's more narrow compared to other phones like an iPhone, and it makes it easier to hold in the hand. I do find this phone to be one-handed friendly for me, even at a phone this size. I do think the curved edges gives me a better grasp of the phone, and also there's a built-in fingerprint scanner, which is very fast and is extremely accurate. Now, I do love this display, and it gets very bright, and it is extremely colorful too. It does ship at Full HD Plus, and you can pop it over to Quad HD Plus, but for me, when watching normal content and just using the phone, I don't see a need to go to QHD Plus, and I'd rather keep the extra screen on time. When you do move it to QHD Plus, you lose about an hour screen on time from what I've recognized, and at the same time, you can always go to auto select, and then it actually switches over depending on what you're doing. So let's say you're on Twitter or you're doing something non-intensive, then it'll be on Full HD, but let's say you want to start watching a video, then it will switch over to QHD Plus. So that is a good compromise if you want that high resolution QHD Plus on certain content. Now, when it comes to the quality of the screen, comparing it to Samsung, comparing it to iPhone, not side by side, but just using the phones interchangeably, I will say that this screen feels just like those phones. This is a really great screen, and I don't think you're losing out by switching from an iPhone or from a Samsung to this phone. I don't think it's an immediate drop off. I think everything looks great. It even gets very bright too. I did test it in direct sunlight a couple days ago, and I had no issues viewing the screen. So I give this screen an A+. As manufacturers are taking chargers out of the box, OnePlus always is providing you with a charger, and a good one at that. This is a 65-watt charger, which with 15 minutes can give you around 8 hours of battery life. And in my testing, I'd say it's true. Now, I did stop charging my phone overnight, and I just charged it in the morning as I was getting ready for my day. And that was enough to last me a full day and throughout the night. So this phone definitely has all-day battery, but when you include this very fast charger, I mean, even if it's not all day and all night, you just pop it on the charger for a few minutes and you're good to go. Now, let's talk software. This is Android 12 with Oxygen OS 12.1. Now, for me, I think Oxygen OS has been always a friendly skin to use. And back in the day with the original OnePlus, it used a modified version of CyanogenMod. Now, obviously, we're a long ways ago from the CyanogenMod, but I still do like Oxygen OS. I wouldn't say it's my favorite skin out there, but I do think that many people will appreciate how it is. There's so many little things that makes the skin fun to use. And one thing I want to call out, I know it's very silly, but you see how when you switch between screens, this little animation happens? It's just a nice layer of smoothness, a nice layer of just, you know, just that extra layer of just cleanness that happens. Also, just everything you do, like the app drawer is just super smooth to go into, how it comes from the bottom and when you get out of it, it goes back down. And just little things like that in the operating system makes it just a really fun phone to use. Now, beyond it being fun, it is practical practical too. I mean, you do have a games launcher right here, and then when you launch a game from here, it automatically optimizes your phone for gaming. As you can see right here, it makes changes to the CPU, the GPU, and it does a lot of these things to make the game faster. Now, using it with the faster mode off for games and faster mode on for games, I can't say that it's been like a huge difference, but I do like that the phone does optimize for games and it just kind of runs in the background. You don't really notice it, but at the same time, it is nice to know that you're getting the most power out of your phone when launching a game. So the input on gaming felt really good, and OnePlus is using something called OSync, and that is syncing speeds between the processor and display. So when you're playing it, supposedly it's 3 to 6 times faster. Obviously, I can't test that, but I will say gaming felt very good on this phone. There's a lot of settings you can dive into, and I'm all about personalizing your phone. So right here under personalizations, this is where you can have fun. You can change your icons, you can change your always on display, your wallpaper, you can change your colors all from here, which I find really nice. So you can definitely make this phone your own without having to download any type of third-party software or anything like that, which I think is nice. Fingerprint animations is always a lot of fun. I do like the default one, but energy looks pretty cool too. So check this out. Got the little energy thing which pops up. So a lot of cool things you can definitely play with, you can have fun with, and you can customize this phone. And that's one of the things that you have an advantage on when using a OnePlus phone or any phone that uses like a custom skin. You do have opportunities for extra personalizations. Now, speaking of personalizations, my sponsor Dbrand would love to help you personalize any phone that you may have. But with the OnePlus 10 Pro, there's a lot of different customizations you can do to make this device look like your own. Now, there's only 2 different colors, but with the Dbrand skin, you can get so many different colors and so many different combinations, so your phone can look completely unique and it can be your own personal device. Hit the links down below to make the best decision of your life by getting a Dbrand skin. Beyond that, I will say that this skin is light, it's out of your way, but it's really good. Obviously, performance won't be a big issue with this phone with the latest chip from Qualcomm. You can also get up to 12 gigabytes of RAM with 256 gigabytes of storage, but there is no option to upgrade it to a micro SD card. And 256 does get filled up pretty fast when dealing with 4K video, so that is something to keep an eye on when it comes to storage. Obviously, there are Google Drive options and Dropbox and Google Photos, but at the same time, I wish there was an option for 1 terabyte or 512, especially now recording 4K video is like the norm. Speaking of gaming, I gotta say that Rocket League Swipe and Space Cowboys works really great. I mean, the connection to your finger and the screen is spot on, and all the precise movements are definitely there. Obviously, this is, you know, a high-end phone, so you can expect really good gaming, and it's just nice to see it. Now, the phone doesn't get that warm when gaming, and you know, that's with the newest processor, the latest Snapdragon chip. It doesn't get as warm as the previous version, and this phone kind of held it together even during a longer gaming session. Obviously, I said a lot of good things about this phone, but there are a couple drawbacks, and to me, it is definitely in the camera department once again. This camera system is closer, but once again, it feels like it's just a few generations behind. The back of the phone, there are 3 cameras. There's 48 megapixel, 50 megapixel, and an 8 megapixel telephoto lens, which offers 3.3x optical zoom. Now, this is OnePlus's best cameras, and I would say out of all the lenses, the best results are gonna be the wide angle lens. It has a wonderful balance between color and brightness, and it doesn't look artificial at all. There's also a decent portrait mode, but that does have issues detecting background elements. It can think it's a foreground element at time, which kind of throws off the photo. I will say it's behind the iPhone and Pixel, but it still takes solid photos. Now, I do wish portrait mode was a little bit faster because once again, this is a problem with a lot of other phones, but I will say the regular default capture mode does a pretty good job at taking photos with some decent depth of field, especially if you're in some pretty good lighting. Now, there are a few more shooting modes like long exposure, which is a lot of fun to use, especially if there's like lights or water or anything like that. Long exposure can get fun. There's a pro mode that lets you dial in your settings if you want. There's tilt shift and a lot of other fun shooting modes. Now, I don't really play around with shooting modes too much. I'm more of just a regular mode guy, and maybe I switch over to portrait, but they are there. You do have options if you want to use those. The ultra wide lens is sharp throughout the whole shot. There's no barreling on the corner, which is nice to see, but the colors don't look as realistic as the standard wide angle lens. Telephoto lens does a pretty good job too, and I was able to grab some really decent shots with that. So I'm pretty happy, but the ultra wide lens, for whatever reason, just had sort of a different tint to all the photos. Not a horrible thing, but something I noticed. I don't hate the low light performance with this phone, but it definitely feels like it's a couple generations behind because iPhone and Samsung and even the Pixel stepped it up a lot last year, and this is a newer phone. You would hope that it has better version of that, but it feels like it's just lagging behind the competition when it comes to low light and when it comes to night mode too. So yeah, there's a couple things that this phone needs to work on, but at the same time, OnePlus is notorious for sending out tons of updates. So maybe an update is coming out. I can't guarantee it, but that is something I want to just want to mention. I think video is solid on this phone too, but of course I will always let you decide. So I'm gonna roll a couple of videos and from there, tell me what you think. So this is 10x zoom on video. This is the furthest this phone zooms in on video. This is 10x. If we pop it down to 3x. This is the 3x zoom lens right here. Now I'm not actually sure if it's actually using which lens is actually using. I'm not sure if it's switching lenses or not, but this is 3x zoom. And then this right here is going to be our ultra wide. So this one definitely did switch to ultra wide. I got a notification that I switched. This is standard. And then you can see the color actually shift when I switch between lenses. Watch the color shift. There it is, the color shift. So ultra wide looks really good, but once you pop over to that zoom, there it is. You can see the color definitely change. All right, this is the front-facing video on the OnePlus 10 Pro. How does it look? How does it sound? Of course, let me know what this looks like. What does it sound like? Is this something you can see yourself using? Is this something that you feel other phones do better? Of course, I want to know. Let me know what you think in the comments. So overall, this is OnePlus's best camera system. And I'm really proud that OnePlus, stepped it up again this year with the camera. Of course, they are still a little bit behind, but at the same time, I think if you put this camera in most people's hands, they won't tell a difference between, other phones like that. As a reviewer, the onus is on me to kind of bring you into my world and do comparisons, but at the same time, if you snap a photo, you should be okay with the way the photo looks. So for $899, this is an excellent phone. I think OnePlus somewhat redeemed themselves compared to the OnePlus 9 series. The launch was a bit weird, and I think you'd admit that too. But beyond that, as far as a day-to-day phone, I think it's rock solid. Would I buy this phone over the Pixel 6 Pro? Honestly, I can't say that I would. So look, this phone is really good, no doubting that here. But the competition for sub $1,000 phones has never, and I mean never, been this close as far as all the manufacturers are releasing sub $1,000 phones that are really good. I mean, they even compare it to their Pro counterparts. So it's really tough to release a phone for $900 in the sea full of other really great phones that are under $1,000 as well. Now, I do think there are people that should buy this phone. I think if you're an enthusiast who loves Android and you kind of want something, under the radar a little bit, this is a great phone. Someone who wants great performance and, they don't need all the bells and whistles when it comes to the cameras and they just want a solid looking phone with a really unique design, this is a good phone here. But of course, it's your money, your decision. I want to know what you think down below. Kevin the Tech Ninja, have a wonderful day. Hit subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.